Hello and welcome back to Abs Talks Ball, guys. It's a reaction from the other perspective now. This is from the Arsenal perspective. Where does this loss in the FA Cup leave Arsenal Football Club? Where does it leave the fan base? Where does it leave the manager? What is the current narrative now for Arsenal Football Club? That is the questions that we are going to be answering in this video. Now, some Arsenal fans, maybe there is a bit of an overreaction in terms of them thinking it's all over now. And I'll be honest, as Manchester United fans, from a perspective, I put my United hat on, I feel as though there's a potential that we have ended Arsenal's season in January. And there is a likelihood of that. If Arsenal go on to win nothing now for the rest of the season, then it cannot be denied that United have ended their season early. That goes to show that we don't know that yet. We have to see at the end of May if they don't win the Champions League or the Premier League. They are in races, I assume, for both, because obviously I think they're third in the Champions League group standings right now. So they're in a decent position there. They're a couple points off Liverpool. But just in general, if I look to the future of how long Saka's going to be out and how bad Arsenal look without Saka, first of all, it takes me back in time to when I was asking the question to Arsenal fans, who is the best player, who's the better player or more important player, Bukayo Saka or Martin Odegaard? I think this season has answered that question now. Because without Martin Odegaard, Saka was still able to win Arsenal games of football. Without Saka right now, it looks like they can't even create clear-cut chances. That is a bad, bad way the Arsenal Football Club are right now. If I look at this performance in specifics, I just feel as though that front line doesn't really have the ability to unlock. I felt Jorginho was actually decent throughout the game in terms of him trying to find different solutions, passes over the top. He was trying quite often. Havertz was getting into really dangerous areas of the pitch, but with Kai Havertz, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise when he misses big chances like this, because this is the Havertz that we know. It's something that Chelsea fans have told Arsenal fans for so long. This is the reality of the player that you're getting. And it reminds me of when Chelsea signed Lukaku. And Chelsea fans would inquire to United fans and we'd say to them, yeah, he'll get you goals, but he is not someone that you can hang your hat on to get your 20, 30 goals a season. He's not going to be doing that for you. We have seen it now at the top level of English football, specifically English football, because we know what he's done overseas previously and what he's done at Everton and West Brom, for example. He is a goal scorer, but he has proven that United is not the right fit, and we think that won't translate over to Chelsea. Now it seems as though that has come true, but on the flip side. Chelsea fans have told Arsenal fans that Kai Havertz is not the solution to your problems. When he is confident, Kai Havertz can get you so many goals and assists in consecutive games in the Premier League as he did last season, for sure. And you could argue, Arsenal fans could argue and say, if we win the league last year, then you look at Havertz and you say he's a big part of that. But if my grandmother had a wheels, she would have been a bike. It's just not how football works. It's not how reality is. It's not how life works. Arsenal didn't, and now with Havertz's confidence being disrupted or being shot, it looks like he is going into that shell of a player that he seemed in his last couple of months, his last couple of seasons, arguably, at Chelsea. Moving on from Kai Havertz, it's Gabriel Jesus started on the right-hand side, didn't really impact the game, obviously. He's so important to Arsenal off the ball, but his exuberance off the ball is what ended up getting him injured. There was a blatant foul at the edge of the box on Bruno Fernandes that he caused that he actually got hurt by. And obviously, we don't like to see a player get stretchered off, so we hope that Jesus is fine and he's back very soon. But listen, even Odegaard actually towards the end of the first half, it looked like he would be out as well. But he continued to play the game and impacted throughout the game in terms of the penalty. Let's have a conversation about Odegaard, because he's a player I really like. I really like Martin Odegaard. He's a beautiful to watch, a magician, almost one of those people who was always blessed to play football from how young he was when he was touted as a top talent by Real Madrid. But as of right now, it's like his limitations are being seen. And as someone, for example, who's a big fan of Bruno Fernandes, I accept his limitations for what they are and still think that player brings me more stuff on the football pitch. And Odegaard his limitations have not been spoken about enough. And what are those limitations? I feel as though his carrying with the ball isn't the best. He's obviously got high chemistry with someone like Saka, and Arteta was speaking about this in a press conference before the game, about missing someone that you have such good chemistry with is going to affect the performance of someone like Odegaard. That can't be denied. But the onus is on him to impact games, to carry Arsenal. If he was, as I believed at one point, the best player at the club, then he should be able to do that. Now, that doesn't mean I expect you to score, create, do everything by yourself. It's just the same way that we saw you be able to carve teams open when Bukayo Saka's on the pitch. Can you link up like that with anyone across the front line? The answer to that had quite categorically been no. And that is not good enough. That is not good enough for a team with ambitions like Arsenal have. The midfield composition, Mikel Merino is a player who I've tried to give him time. If I'm being honest, I've tried to give him time. There was that cameo that he had at Stamford Bridge that I was aware of and I was looking at and I was thinking maybe this is what he could be for the team. Can he improve in this mode here, carrying the ball forward and being a part of the attack? We'll have to wait and see now because I just don't think Mikel Merino has it. It was a midfield of Odegaard, Merino and Jorginho and George was trying. He is always going to be someone that tries to look for the forward pass. And what Jorginho did have in this game especially is that ability to almost unlock in 1 second. There was 2 passes I think he did to Declan Rice. Declan Rice, one of them he shot with his left foot and dragged just past the far post. The other one was a chance where he shot straight at the keeper. I think it was blocked, maybe by De Ligt. But he had that unlocking part of him. He had that for sure. And he came onto the pitch and Declan Rice obviously is very, very key to Arsenal when it comes to set pieces. Because that was a big talking point before the game. Arsenal set pieces, they're the best in the league. United's are the worst in terms of defending set pieces in the league. United were brilliant with defending the set pieces in this game. But how much of that has got to do with the fact that Saka and Declan Rice weren't taking those corners? And there isn't a backup plan. There's no contingency for that. Being Martinelli and Odegaard showed that it was a big drop-off. It wasn't the same. I felt as though in the beginning of that game, Miles Lewis-Skelly was an out ball. His inverting in them and the build-up play was so overcrowded. United usually press with 5. I think at times Arsenal might even had 6 or 7 players all involved in the build-up. Odegaard dropping in, Skelly inverting with Jorginho present as well. So they found solutions in the build-up play for sure. And they always will because they have talent in almost all positions. But the reality of the matter is this. Arsenal are in trouble if they don't win a title this season. It won a big trophy this season. Do I think they win the Champions League? Honestly, no. Do they come back in the Carabao Cup in the second leg against Newcastle at St James's Park 2-0 down? I just don't think it. I don't see it. I don't think they do it. Having said that now, that means that there will be a big conversation come May about Mikel Arteta and this project as a whole. There is one way to reverse that conversation ever happening. Go and win the league. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and tune in for the next video that will be on here on Abs Talks Ball.